All right, let's just get this out of the way. Forget everything you think you know about the Ramayana. Seriously, we're not here to talk about a simple bedtime story. We're here to crack a code, a psychological manual, really, for navigating the brutal realities of life. And it was written thousands of years ago. So yeah, on the surface, it's this classic epic, right? You've got the divine prince, the 10-headed demon, the kidnapped princess, you know the drill. But underneath all that, there's this hidden layer. It's like a symbolic algebra for the battlefield that's raging inside your own mind. This whole thing, it's not really about gods and monsters out there. It's about the eternal war between your soul and your ego, fighting for control of your inner peace.
Okay, so to really get this, we have to learn the language it's written in. Because reading the Ramayana literally, that's like looking at the cover of a book and thinking you've read the whole thing. It just doesn't work. So first up, let's decode the key players in this whole drama.
Let's start with the hero, Rama. Now, he's not just some guy, not just a prince. He represents that pure, silent witness that's inside you. You know, your core consciousness, what some people call the Atman. It's your higher self, it's divine, it's totally capable, but it's stuck here, forced to play by the rules of this messy physical world.
And then there's Sita. Again, not just a princess. She represents your mind, your individual awareness. The text calls it the jiva. And here's the key. When your soul, which is Rama, is united with your mind, which is Sita, that's when you get this state of profound inner peace. So she isn't just another character in the story. She is the prize.
All right, now let's talk about the villain, Ravana. And you guessed it, he's not just some demon king. He is your ego, that constant sense of I, me, and mine. So what about those 10 heads? Well, they're not just for show. They symbolize the 5 senses you use to perceive the world. You know, sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, and the 5 organs of action you use to, act in it. This guy is brilliant, he's powerful, but he is just utterly consumed by his own arrogance.
And last but not least, we've got Hanuman. You've probably heard of the monkey mind, right? That part of you that just jumps from thought to thought to thought nonstop. Well, that's him. But here's the secret the story reveals. When you can discipline that mind, when you give it devoted focus, it turns into an absolute superpower. Hanuman is prana, your life force, channeled through your breath. It's saying that a focused breath can tame that wild monkey mind and let you cross any ocean of chaos to do what seems impossible.
So if we put all these pieces together, we get this incredible 4-step formula. And honestly, this thing plays out in our lives every single day. Step 1, your soul and your mind are together, you're at peace, everything's good. Step 2, your mind gets distracted by some glittering desire, right? The story calls it the golden deer. The second you chase after it, boom. Step 3, your ego swoops in and literally kidnaps your peace of mind. And step 4, the only way back is for your soul to use its disciplined energy, your breath, your focus, to beat the ego and get your mind back.
Okay, so now we have the code, we have the key. Let's use it. Let's apply it to some of the story's most controversial moments. And trust me, this is where the whole thing stops being about piety and gets into some cold, hard pragmatism.
Let's kick things off with a moment that makes a lot of people really uncomfortable. The scene is this. Our hero, Rama, shoots the Monkey King Vali from behind a tree while Vali is already fighting someone else. It just feels wrong, doesn't it? It feels unfair. It kind of feels cowardly.
But the source material's logic here is, it's brutal. The point is, Rama isn't trying to be a nice guy. He's trying to be effective. See, Vali had this special power, a boon, that made him totally invincible in a direct head-to-head fight. So the lesson here is ruthless. Idealism without pragmatism just leads to defeat. The takeaway? Sometimes you don't fight fair, you fight to win.
And if you thought that was a tough pill to swallow, this next one is even harder. So Rama wins the war. He rescues Sita, he becomes king. And then he banishes his pregnant wife to the forest. Why? Because of public gossip, rumors about her purity. It's just, how could a so-called perfect man do something so incredibly cruel?
Well, the source explains this as the ultimate tragedy of leadership. You see, there were 2 Ramas. There was Rama the husband, who loved Sita more than anything. But then there was Rama the king, who had a duty to his people, to the state. And for the law, for dharma to be respected, the queen had to be completely above suspicion in the public eye. The lesson is harsh. To lead is to suffer. The text is crystal clear on this. If you choose the crown, you sacrifice your heart. Period.
All right, so let's bring this home right into the modern day. Because these characters, they're not just ancient figures in a story. They're psychological profiles. They're archetypes you meet every single day, at the office, in your own family, and maybe, just maybe, when you look in the mirror. Think about it. The Ravana? That's the brilliant, super charming leader who has an absolute meltdown the second they hear the word no. The Manthara? Oh, we all know one. That's the coworker who's, "I'm just concerned about you," is really just envy in disguise, poisoning everything. And the Vibhishana? That's the whistleblower, the one brave enough to speak truth to power, and for their trouble, they get called a traitor by their own team for doing the right thing.
And this just shows you how dangerous these archetypes can be. Think about this. It took decades for the royal family to build its legacy. But it only took one conversation with one toxic person, Manthara, to infect a good queen's mind with doubt and insecurity, and it burned the entire kingdom to the ground. The lesson here is so clear. Audit your inner circle. Now.
So after all this struggle, all this sacrifice, where does it all lead? You might be expecting a nice, clean, happily ever after, but the Ramayana's conclusion totally flips our modern idea of a happy ending on its head. The goal isn't happiness. Nope, it's something much harder, and ultimately, much more valuable. In fact, the source basically gives us three pretty uncomfortable truths. A real reality check. Number one, the idea that you can have a perfectly safe life, it's a complete illusion. Number two, being a good person doesn't guarantee you'll be happy. What it does guarantee is a life of meaning. And number three, you have to accept that the part of you that can create total chaos, your inner Ravanana, is every bit as powerful as your divine potential.
And all of this leads to maybe the most profound insight in the entire epic. You need the enemy. Think about it. Without Ravana, Rama is just a comfortable prince. He never would have reached his full potential. It's the friction, it's your struggles, your challenges, and yes, even your enemies that polish your soul and forge you into the person you're truly meant to be. And that brings everything right back to you, here and now. So what's your golden deer? What's that glittering desire you're chasing right now? What is it costing you in terms of your peace of mind? Because ultimately, the entire secret code of the Ramayana boils down to this one final question for you. What will it take for you to stop chasing illusions and finally awaken the focused, unstoppable power of your own inner Hanuman?